Summer has officially started, and that means it's time for burgers, brats, and barbecue. Today, I'm going to combine all three. So the star of the show today is this bratwurst. It's a fresh bratwurst, picked it up at the store yesterday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the filling out of the casing and I'm going to use that to make my burger. So what I'm going to do is just take the filling out. I'm going to put it in our little mixing bowl here because we're going to be adding something to this. So our brat filling already has a lot of flavor in it, but we're going to add something more because what's more traditional than a beer brat? Now I'm going to be breaking a rule here. I'm going to be using some BFD, which is beer for drinking. I'm not going to drink it. I'm going to use some of this for this brat. I'm not going to add that much here. We don't want to have a sloppy burger. We just want to get some of that beer flavor. And I'm just going to work this brat filling in with the beer, just to kind of infuse it a bit. It's not all going to stay in the meat. So I'm going to move this wet bowl out of the way and we're going to transfer this to a dry bowl. So here we have our dry bowl. We're going to put our patty mixture in that. We're going to add some breadcrumbs. Not a lot, just enough to help bind it a little bit. These are very dry breadcrumbs. We're going to mix this up. A little bit more breadcrumbs. So here is our Beer Brat Burger patty. It's ready for the grill, but we're going to put it in the refrigerator for a little while to sort of tighten up, absorb those flavors. And while it's sitting in the refrigerator, we're going to go ahead and get some onions ready that we're going to caramelize for this burger. Okay, I have a Vidalia onion here. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I like onions, but not that much. Peel off the outside skin here. I want these fairly thin. Once again, go ahead and make fun of my knife skills. I don't have any. That's what I'm looking for, this sort of size. So what I'm going to do with these are going in a bowl. I'm going to put a little olive oil on them and a pinch of black pepper. Just a little drizzle of olive oil. Pinch of black pepper. I'm going to put the cover on this bowl. Shake it up. Get everything coated. We're going to be caramelizing these onions in a cast iron pan out on the Weber Kettle just before we do our Beer Brat Burger patty. As you can see, I've got a screaming hot fire going in the vortex in the Weber Kettle. That's going to give us pretty quick cook times here. So let's get going. First thing I'm going to do is a massively fast toasting of these buns. They're not going to be on there for more than a few seconds. See what I mean? That was like, I don't know, 4 seconds. And we're going to get our onions going. All right, let's get our onions in there. I'm going to add a little shot of beer, half a shot glass of beer. Ooh, nice scent coming off that. Onions are looking good, smelling wonderful. Okay, I'm going to slide these off to the side, let them keep just sort of cooking a little bit in the cast iron off the coals while we get our burger on here. All right, here we go. Ooh, nice and hot. We're going to let that get a good char on it. Ooh, look at that. That is so hot. Now we can always finish this indirect in here if we want to. Wonderful sizzling sound. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this to an indirect spot in the kettle. We don't want to char the outside too much. Gonna put the lid on, let it cook indirect for a bit. Okay, it's been a few minutes. Let's check our burger. I want to check it for temp since this is ground pork. I want to take it to about 160. And we are there. We're a little over 165. All right, let's get this burger off and get it inside. Okay, there is our burger. First thing I'm going to do is get some of these onions on here. Perfectly caramelized. Let me slide this aside here for a second. Just want to get a little mustard on this top bun. Spread that around a bit. Now, I'm not one for mustard on hamburgers, but this is a brat burger, so I think it's appropriate. So there it is. I'm going to top it and dive in. All right, I want you to see this. You ready? That is our Beer Brat Burger. Cut it in half. Look at how thick that is and how juicy. All right, here we go. I'm going in. Whoa. Oh, wow. That is really good. There's a really nice flavor in here. And it's not just the plain brat. That beer that we mixed in is really adding something to this. I'm not sure. Let me check again and see what it is. I'm getting the beer. I'm not sure if I'm getting the beer from the burger or the onions or both, but it is a really nice flavor. Really nice texture on the burger. It was cooked to 160 degrees, and that's because it's got ground pork in it. Pork pieces you can generally now do to about 145, but ground pork, the recommendation that I understand is still about 160, 165, and I'm okay with that. Cooking it to 160 degrees, I think, really helped the flavor. I mean, after we did that sear on the vortex, everything was sealed in, and those juices weren't going anywhere, so you could take it to that higher temperature. Maybe it's something with the beer in there, cooking at that higher temperature. I don't know, but it's got a really nice flavor. It's a thick burger, but as you can see, it's cooked all the way through, and it's not cooked unevenly. You don't have the outside dried out. Part of that's because of the vortex with that superheated column coming up out of those concentrated coals in it. It sears the outside, and everything else is cooking inside with all those juices. And I'm not always a caramelized onion fan, but on this, it works. In a way, I feel like this is cheating a little bit. I've got like a bratwurst dog in a hamburger bun. And that's what it tastes like with the mustard and the onions. But it's something nice about getting it out of that casing, forming it into the patty, adding the beer right in there, rather than braising it in beer and maybe some hot pepper flakes or something. This, you're concentrating that beer flavor inside the ground meat. When I was planning to do this, I was considering whether I was going to do the burger in the cast iron also. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm a huge proponent of cooking in cast iron, even burgers. Burgers are awesome when they're seared in cast iron. I think this was the better way to do it on that vortex over the open heat with just that superheated column. I think that was the right choice here. So this opens up some possibilities. If you've got fresh sausage in the casing, you know, generally not sort of the packaged one, but you have a butcher or a deli you go to where they make it fresh, you could do this with Italian sausage. You could do this with kielbasa. You could do this with almost any fresh sausage that's out there. A chicken Italian sausage. You can take the meat out of those casings and form it into burger patties. You're getting the same flavor, you're giving it a different treatment. You're changing it up a little bit, and that's fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel and consider subscribing. And if you do, click that bell for notifications. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great evening. I'll see you again soon.